It would take me 1,000 years to hit my money goals. I did the math one night after working for 12 hours. It's $50,000 per year, saving 10,000, and the goal is 10 million. 1,000 years. That's when it hit me. The problem was never how hard I worked. Rich people don't chase money like I did. They chase the one thing that makes money chase them. I was grinding 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. My day looked like wake up, hit breakfast, go to work for 4 hours, half an hour break, and then go to work for another 8 hours, come back, be so exhausted I have no time for hobbies, passion, fitness, nothing, go to sleep, and repeat. Every single thing I had to do besides working was a huge issue. I literally got angry at my girlfriend if she asked me to buy something at the shop because I was so mentally exhausted and fatigued. I didn't have time to think and sit with myself. Everything was this constant hamster wheel of going from one thing to another, from one meeting to another meeting. I started gaining weight and I was only working out maybe one time per week, and it was this terrible workout where I would go and my mind would just be too exhausted to really push it. So every week I would watch my weights drop. If I was doing 80 kilograms of bench press, it would go to 70 or 60. I was just regressing and losing the things that I cared about the most, my freedom, my fitness, and the enjoyment that my life gave me before. I was running an education business when I would coach people one-to-one. And the good news was I had customers. I had people who wanted to work with me. I didn't want to be poor. I wanted to escape the life that I saw when I was a child, where you have to save on everything and every single thing that happened causes you stress. I wanted to escape that so badly. I fell into a trap. Money today, cash today felt safer than wealth and being rich in the future because I sold every productive hour I had in the day to other people so that I had the cash. But that left no time for actually building something that would enable me to be free. You might be thinking what I was thinking. Either work more hours or earn more, raise your prices. So let's say that I would work even more, 2 hours per day, 14 hours a day right now, and I would raise my prices. The math would still say 400 years. And I don't know about you, but I don't have 400 years to earn money. I realized that I cannot outwork a terrible equation. I cannot outwork no leverage and selling my time. Confronting that 1,000 year number made me focus and analyze what do rich people actually do to create wealth. And when I looked at it, it seemed like everybody had a different path. Like some people were creating products, some people were creating content, other people were investing. But then I noticed this one thing that was a thread connecting all of them. It wasn't what they did. It was what they refused to do. I couldn't find a single rich person who would trade their time for a paycheck, who would trade the hours in their day for cash. All of them refused to sell time in chunks like I did. I was selling it hour per hour. One meeting is 1 hour, this is how much I get. That's what they don't do. So the methods that how they get rich are different, but none of them sell their time in blocks like people like me and you, people who've never been taught how to actually build wealth instead of being desperate for cash. And you can see it in the small things that they do. They will not spend time standing in a queue just to get a 10% discount or drive to a further away gas station just because gas is cheaper there. They view the world in a totally different lens. They put a price tag on their hour, and then whatever is below that price tag doesn't belong in their life. If driving to get cheaper gas saves them $10, but it takes them an hour, it's almost like doing a $10 per hour job. And if their price tag is bigger, they are just not going to do this. And what was most interesting to me is that most of them price their time even before they get rich. They actually put a price tag on the hours and then they get rich. So it's not something that happens after you've already made the money. It's a decision that they make before that actually creates that wealth. You see, me, you, Elon Musk, any other rich person that you can think about, we all have the same amount of hours in the day, but all of us get different results. And what I noticed is that poor people trade their time for money, and the rich people trade their money for time. It's the same ingredients, but completely opposite directions. The rich understand that the most important asset that they have is time, and they will do anything to protect it. They do this by outsourcing everything that is below the price tag that they've put on their hour. And if that means outsourcing cleaning, outsourcing cooking, outsourcing whatever else you can think of that is going to save their time, they are going to do this. Their every dollar goes to increasing the amount of hours in their day. They don't think about it as a luxury or something to be enjoyed. They just view it from the pure standpoint of math. Because let's say that they can hire someone to cook their meals for $30 an hour. They can order food from Deliveroo or from Uber Eats, whatever, and it's $30. If their price tag is $500 per hour, if they did that themselves, it would mean that they are actively losing $470. Do you see what I'm saying here? $30 for food. Your price tag, their price tag for their hour is $500. $500 minus $30, $470 minus. So for them, it's actually a no-brainer. To me, because I've never seen someone operate at that level, it looked like overspending. But I realized that it's actually an investment that they are making. And it's the best investment that they can actually make. This is exactly why they refuse to spend their time to just get a little bit of money or sell their time for a paycheck. They are prioritizing their time because they know that their time is the only thing that can multiply their income. And I know what you're thinking, because I was thinking exactly the same thing. Oh, it's easy for them. They are already rich. But I realized that buying back your time starts at $0. You see, when you don't have the money to actually outsource stuff, what you need to do is look at your calendar, look at your actual schedule, and figure out where you are wasting hours. That's exactly what I did. I sat down with my calendar and I started looking for leaks. I started looking for places where I was wasting my time. And the first thing that I eliminated was actually shopping. I realized that I was going shopping 3 to 4 times per week. And anytime it would take me about an hour, because you drive to the shop, you come back, you need to unpack it and everything. And from that moment on, I said, oh, what I need to do is make sure that I go shopping only once per week. And that means I have to do a bigger amount of shopping, and it's a little bit more uncomfortable to carry into my house. But I realized that that's how I can buy back my time for $0. I bought back about 3 hours per week for free, just by looking at my calendar and figuring out where I was stupid, where I was messing up. And you can copy it tomorrow. Second way I started implementing that, even when I had no money, is asking for help. And it was a hard one for me. But I sat down with my girlfriend and we made a bet together. I told her, babe, I need you to cook my breakfast and my dinner. And if you do this, you will never have to worry about money ever again. If this works, this is a bet that we're making together. I'm going to put all my energy and all my focus into building something that can feed us for the rest of our lives. But I need you to help me out with those two things. And if you can outsource that for me, I didn't use that language, by the way, but if you can do this for me, it's going to make it so much easier for me to actually focus and build that business. And she said yes. So all of a sudden I was able to save time on the breakfast side and on the dinner side, which made it much easier for me to actually focus on what matters. She invested in me and I invested in business. which then made our relationship stronger together. And it created this lovely bond where we're working as a team, creating what's most important to us. The most crucial point here is where the actual hours that you save go, because it's very easy to just get distracted, to start watching TV, to walk around, do something around the house. You need to actually protect them. And I protected them by having that deep work block in the morning where I can sit down and tackle the most important task of the day, whether that's scripting some videos, whether that's looking at my investment portfolio, or whatever else is the most important problem of that single day. If that time that you buy back gets wasted on your phone, scrolling, looking at social media, watching YouTube, it's worthless. And you haven't actually bought anything back. For me, those deep work morning sessions were focused on content and building leverage. So it's resulted in a 3,000 follower Instagram account. And all the videos that you're watching, plus the money that I was able to make from reading about investing and actually putting my capital to work. So I don't want you to think about it like you're saving time. What you're doing is buying your time back and then investing it into things that can free up your time in the future and multiply your income without selling your time in chunks like I did. If you sacrifice your time to make money, you end up with neither. It's exactly the situation that I found myself in. Working all the time and having no time and no money. If you prioritize your time and then invest it into things that give you leverage, you will end up with more money and more time. This is actually the journey that I am documenting on this channel. I went from someone who was completely broke and poor to then someone who was running an offline one-to-one business, now to someone who's trying to build leverage in content and in investing. So if that's something that sounds interesting to you, subscribe to the channel and see you in the next one.